Stand by alert. Death Star approaching. Estimated time to fire range.
Feeling about this.
Welcome, listeners, to episode 264 of the Skyhoppers podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Ben, and I am joined by my lovely co-hosts, Cole, Dakota, and Eva.
Thank you.
Yay. We're all here. The gang's all here for what promises to be an episode.
You said.
Oh, wait. I forgot to shut my door. One moment.
Oh, my God.
Carry the podcast just for a minute.
How are we supposed to carry this podcast?
My gosh, it's so heavy. I'm burdened. Oh my gosh. There's no way we can do this alone.
It's horrible.
This is horrible. You're all talking over each other.
You told us all to carry it. You didn't specify who.
Not great.
We're bad at load sharing.
Yeah, bad load sharing indeed. Not great. No, this episode's gonna be a mix of a lot of different things. We are still kind of in this weird pre-Kenobi, nothing is really happening kind of area with Star Wars. It's like pre-Kenobi, pre-celebration. There are so many things happening, and they don't want to tell us about any of them. No. Dakota, you weren't here last week, though.
They did the cover art for the Lando Luke book, whatever. I don't remember the name of it, but
Dakota, did you read the excerpt from Shadow of the Sith? Oh, okay. Because it's, I don't remember. Cole and Tom described it as something like something to the equivalent of mind blowing, but it was funnier than that. And it kind of is. We won't spoil it here for you, and we won't spoil it for anybody else, but that is out there on StarWars.com if you're interested. Pretty cool. There's a lot of cool things I think happening in that book. But we've kind of got a few little mini topics here, I think, from our patrons, and we are also going to do, now that we are a video podcast, it's gonna be real embarrassing if something catastrophic happens and I can't get this video out. But now that we are a video podcast, we figured we'd do something that, while maybe slightly less friendly to audio, not entirely so.
Because we're going to describe it as we go. Paint you a little word picture with our...
Word picture.
Yeah.
This will truly be the test of how well we can do that.
This will be the test of how many words that I know as a professional writer.
Star Wars show and tell is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
There's a couple things that we've all grabbed from our collections that are...
It's the Star Wars
unique.
show and tell.
Thank you. Ooh, that's really good. I like that. Yeah, just a couple things from our collections that we think are cool or unique or different. Yeah. Or we just like, because that's really what matters. That's what collecting is about. I just think it's neat.
You just think it's neat.
But first, the question I remember from Discord that jumps out at me is something that we've talked a little bit about before. There have been some rumors. Jedi Fallen Order 2. Maybe not what the game's going to be called. Maybe not, we don't really know what form it's going to take. But it's rumored. I guess the game has been announced. A sequel to Fallen Order, right? That was announced.
It's confirmed.
Yeah. Yes. As part of the Respawn. I remember that drop.
I mean, there's 100% going to be a trailer at Celebration, and if there's not, then, I don't know.
Life is meaningless.
Yeah.
Why did we even go? Why did we even go to Celebration if there's
okay, there's going to be a trailer drop at Celebration, and if there's not, I will pay each of our patrons $1 a month for 1 month.
$1 a month for 1 month.
Yes.
High roller. Well,
that's quite an offer.
It is because
I am one of the
If
patrons.
I'm
so-
wrong, you could get $1 from me if you sign up for the Patreon.
I forgot that Cole's a patron. That makes me so mad.
Dakota is too. I'm
You-
not. I canceled my
God.
subscription. I think
You
the show
did. Thank you.
sucks.
Like a normal person. But that's all the more reason to jump onto our Patreon right now
Yeah.
in the next few months, so
You
that
could get $1 from me if I'm really wrong somehow.
because I actually am less convinced there will be a trailer. Now, how do you define trailer?
Yeah,
How do you
that's the
define trailer?
question.
Okay, in video games, trailer is video footage. Length does not matter.
Okay, so literally, like the original, like, do you remember whenever they did the little teaser for Sekiro that came out like way before the game did, and it was like the arm?
Yeah.
Does that count?
There will be moving footage of something, not necessarily in game engine because it won't be.
Sure.
Probably won't be. It
Well-
will not. What I'm betting is not gameplay, not in engine. I'm predicting a cinematic trailer or clip that could be as long as like 5 seconds, maybe. Like I'm not expecting like a 3-minute like trailer, but maybe like a 5-minute
KOTOR remake.
cinematic with like something like that,
Mhm.
where it's like
Okay,
moving
okay.
video, but about Fallen Order, but it doesn't tell you anything.
I
other
think
than,
the Fallen
hey,
Order.
look.
I think the first Fallen Order like teaser was like an animated image of like the logo for it.
Yeah, it was so minor.
Yeah.
It was very
Yeah.
minor.
So I'm like, it's like, well, that counts, I guess, but it's not much of anything.
That was the year that game came out, because it came out at November.
It came
Was
out
it
in
that was like
November
2020?
summer.
2019.
It was 2019. Okay, because I remember seeing there was the big presentation for Fallen Order at Celebration, and I
Yeah.
remember being around for that and kind of seeing it up on the. I remember not actually being that interested and being like, okay, cool, yeah, I'll see it when I'll see it when there's something to see. And now I'm like, you idiot. That's a very good Star Wars game. Why were you like that? And I actually picked up my physical copy of it finally for PS4 on eBay a couple weeks ago. Feels pretty good. Or a couple days ago.
Nice.
Not even. But so
Update to our last episode. I had sent this in the Skyhoppers, like our private chat. The audiobook for the first Thrawn book is like a 10-week wait, so I'm just gonna order it for thrift books after this podcast because I started reading Han Solo like 2 days ago, and I'm like I need
yeah.
so I can't wait 10 weeks. So anyway, thrift book sponsor us.
Please. I actually put it in a thrift books order as well. I picked up Lost Tribe of the Sith, and then my free book, because I had a free book credit, was... Oh, I don't remember. It was something that a Star Wars book I didn't have, obviously, and then I just hadn't wanted to spend the money on. I remember being like, okay, since I've already spent some money and this one's free, I'll pick this one up. Not that I'm not excited for whichever it was, but I'm excited to have Lost Tribe of the Sith, though. That's one
that's
that
a good one.
I consider myself a John Jackson Miller fan, and the fact that I have not had it has pained me the whole time that I've been missing it. But I don't want to get too far off of Fallen Order yet. I do want to check in with how Eva's feeling about Rebel Dawn here in a minute. Rebel Dawn, not Rebel Dream. Rebel Dream is the new Jedi Order one. You can't read that one yet. I always have to check myself.
Rebel Dream or Rebel Stand.
There are probably worse one-off new Jedi Order books you could read.
Man, what a first Aaron Austin book to read.
I'm gonna smile and nod. I believe you.
Anyway, before we get off of Fallen Order, do we have any major... We've kind of talked about it a little in the past, but now that it's more of a reality, we know there's a second game coming. Do we have any major hopes or anything, feelings on Fallen Order 2? Because I'm starting to think that there are so many ways they could go. I don't know which way I'd want them to go the most. I feel like the last game ended in such an open way. They could tell whatever stories they wanted, and I have heard it within our own Discord and elsewhere. Maybe it's not even Cal. Maybe it's not Cal.
Mhm.
Maybe it's a completely different story under the Jedi : name, which I think would be sick as well. As much as I think it would be kind of criminal to not have Cal and Marin interacting anymore.
I think it's going to be a direct sequel because I think if it wasn't, they would have said that already.
Okay, that's a great point.
I think if it wasn't going to be a direct sequel when they announced that, like, oh, Respawn's doing another thing with Jedi Fallen Order, they would have put the disclaimer of, like, by the same developers as Fallen Order is a completely new game, instead of it's, like, really leaning into the Fallen Order, like,
Yeah,
right.
timeline or
I
whatever.
definitely think it'll be like a direct, like, directly connected. Even if they're not necessarily technically a sequel.
Yeah.
Like, I could see it being like a new, like maybe like following a new character, but it's heavily tied to Cal and Marin and the crew that we've already met. Like, I could see that happening possibly. My like hope is probably like maybe a split campaign where you play half as Cal, half as Marin.
Of course, that is almost
That's like
come on,
the obvious one. It's the most obvious
it's
thing.
right there. It's
But it's
right
also maybe
there.
it's too obvious.
See, I
No.
feel like I'm a little bit in the... Not that I don't want to play as Marin, but I'd say what I really want to see from another entry in, like, the Fallen Order whatever is I want to see more Seer.
Oh yeah,
Because
Yeah, that'd
I
be good too.
really, really liked her and thought she was a really interesting character. So I really liked Marin, but I feel like in conversations about the sequel, she's been really overlooked in favor of Marin, and which I get, because I think if you were going to make a character other than Cal playable, she would be the obvious choice. So I don't necessarily want to play a Seer, but, like, man, I want more Seer content. So that's... But other than that, I don't know if I really have any hopes for the, like, Fallen Order 2 or whatever, because I mean, I didn't really have any expectations for the first one, and I loved it. So I think whatever they're gonna do, I'll probably like it. But, you know, that's really the only thing I can think of, because I know that other people had said, like, what characters from, like, Rebels or Clone Wars or anything else would you want to see show up, or and all this stuff, and it's like none really. Like, not in like a I don't want to see them way, but just I don't have like a, man, I hope they do this. I just have oh, I want to see more Seer, and I'll see what happens.
right.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, like I said, that's kind of how I feel. Where it's just like
Yeah.
there is so much. There's so many ways they could take it, you know. And it's like I think anything I come up with is gonna. I'm not the writer of the game, you know.
Yeah.
I don't want to disappoint myself.
Yeah, the cameo I
Coda,
would,
do you have any
pull
thoughts?
for would be Hondo.
Okay.
Oh, that would be sick. Yeah.
Like, it would fit.
I think
You know,
if you had, like, a, you know, in the first one when they put you in that arena briefly, if you had like a random showdown kind of like that, but it was Hondo just being Hondo, like, I think that would be really fun.
like it writes itself.
Yeah.
Not a rumor, just people wanting it. Okay.
I think, man, that's tough.
I don't know what to make of that. It'd be funny. I go back and forth on Hondo a lot. I feel like in Clone Wars, oddly enough, I like him less. Even though he's goofier in Rebels, I just feel like he's just overtly funnier in Rebels, and since they lean into it a little more, I like it a little more. Like one of the first episodes where he's with Ezra, and Ezra swindles him or whatever, and he's just like, "I'm so proud of you."
That's the one where Ezra says that he's Jabba or whatever.
No, I think it's the one where he's posing as Lando, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Hondo's just like, I am so proud of you. I'm so proud. He's great. He's great.
Yeah.
But
as far as like Christopher Lloyd playing him, like, to me, Hondo's one of those characters that I feel like if they did it in live action, he'd be like what they did with Cad Bane, basically, with someone portraying him and then Jim Cummings doing the voice.
it would have to be that way, and I don't And I don't know why you do that. I don't know why you get Christopher Lloyd to play a stand-in actor.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But again, you didn't say it was a rumor, so I mean, it's people can want whatever they want. Yeah, people can want whatever they want. And there's no harm in that. I say that having definitely come down on some people for wanting things that I think are stupid in the past.
Hondo shows up. He goes, "The flux capacitor," and he just leaves.
Oh my god, no. No, we
must go back to the world between worlds.
That would hurt me. That would hurt me. You know how you all know how I feel about crossover stuff.
They canonize the flux capacitor via Hondo, voiced by Christopher Lloyd.
No, we're moving on. We're done. We're not talking about that anymore.
What a world between worlds.
On the subject of video games, before we go too much further down that path, Greg, the usually quiet, but I guess Eva, since you did use the here tag in Discord,
I want to make it clear, I did not use @everybody, Greg, so you can't get mad at me because you were online. That's why you were tagged.
Greg says, I'll just read this Quantic Dream are making a High Republic game, allegedly. That is editorializing. And this is crappy for multiple reasons. Who should make it instead? Or what other game should it be like? And what suits this era of Star Wars storytelling? I want to say, Cole, was it on a Pro Skywalkers that we talked about the not delay, the technically correct Quantic Dream PR thing? God, did either of you see where the Quantic Dream, a PR person came out and said that, like, no, High Republic, like, Eclipse is not being delayed because we never announced a launch window. And it's like, oh my god, the game is still not coming out until 2026 or 27. It's just going to be the Duke Nukem Forever of Star Wars games if it ever comes out.
There was actually a little bit of like news/movement on that Eclipse front today. I don't know if y'all saw.
No, what does that mean?
Okay, so apparently, Quantic Dream is going to be acquired by a company called NetEase, which I don't know anything about, but like they were shopping around, like sell themselves, to be acquired, and that was like part of the reason they probably pushed out the trailer so early, was to be like, hey, this is something we're working on, so someone buy us, please.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, hey, maybe there's some restructuring that goes on under a new company.
That's what the little bit I saw about it was. The hope was that it's like, well, maybe they can kick out the bad people and it'll be okay.
Right. It's like, David Cage, this guy's bringing in a lot of negative PR. What if we just remove him? Can we do that?
Made him go away.
Make him go away.
Well, we'll see. Bobby Kotick still at Activision, so
that's exactly what I thought too. That's exactly what I thought too.
It's some news. It's some movement.
Maybe it would be nice. It'd be nice to be able to be excited for this game and not have this shadow looming over it.
The shadow of the Eclipse hanging over it.
Okay, whatever. You gotta dial it back a little bit, buddy.
No, I don't.
My take is that, first of all, obviously, Quantic Dream sucks. David Cage sucks. Get that out of the way. We all know that we're talking about.
Yeah, of course.
But my thing with Quantic Dream, just from a strict like gameplay, game history, whatever thing, is that I've played their recent games, and a Star Wars game in that vibe just doesn't appeal to me. And I'm sure when it comes out, they'll do something that I'm like, oh, okay, sure, I get it, and play it or whatever. But I just like the whole walking sim, choice-based, dialogue-driven, whatever, just doesn't get me for High Republic stuff. And maybe Quantic Dream is just being like, screw our formula, we're doing something completely different, which would surprise me a lot, but I don't know. But it almost kind of feels like they kind of have to, because it's Star Wars, and I don't think Star Wars really goes for... I mean, you can do a lot of big role-playing and everything, but I just don't see... Every time I try to picture, like, Star Wars characters doing Detroit Become Human, I'm like, these two things just don't work between, like, gameplay and what the franchise is.
Right, and that's a thought I've had as well. I was excited when I saw the trailer. I'm like, wow, what the heck? This is crazy. And I was like, Quantic Dream, who's that? Oh my god, it's this studio.
Yeah.
Oh,
These games have again, before I knew anything, I'm like, those games look boring as hell. Like, and
Well,
maybe
like, I played Detroit Become Human, and I have critiques that we will not get into on this show about whether or not it was inspired by Black Lives Matter and Martin Luther King Jr. and all this stuff. Won't get into that right now. Again, David Cage sucks, but that game was, I think, it did do a lot of interesting things with the story and with the characters, and I did legitimately enjoy playing the game. But like, that's a game that I played in like 2 days over a weekend and was like, that was interesting. I'm gonna go read Discourse, and then like put it down. It was not a game where I'd be like, oh yeah, if they did this but with Star Wars, it'd be sick. It was just like a random experience that I had and then never thought about again.
right.
Except for every time David Cage came up, and I was like, man, that guy sucks.
And I wasn't, when I found out who it was, I was not particularly excited. They have said the game, should it ever come out, is going to have more of an action focus than stuff they've traditionally done. And I'm not saying, obviously, I don't mean to say that like a really narrative-driven, choice-driven Star Wars game, like, that sounds sick if it has some good other gameplay to back it up.
Yeah.
And again, can't say that I can't speak to really the firsthand. I can't speak to the quality of anything Quantic Dream has ever done. But yeah, I definitely wasn't particularly excited about that either. I feel like there's I'm of multiple minds. Before I move to this, Dakota Cole, do you have any more thoughts about just the current state of things?
Okay. I was looking at the NetEase company just to get an idea of what they do, and it doesn't give me a lot of hope, honestly. They're a Chinese company. Apparently, they're one of the largest video game companies in the world.
I thought I had heard of them. I thought that sounded familiar. Okay.
They've partnered with Activision Blizzard to make Chinese versions of a lot of their games, including World of Warcraft, StarCraft, Overwatch.
Eva, you need to watch the video episode of this, listeners, because Eva's face whenever Cole said Activision Blizzard.
Like, that was the main thing in the Wikipedia article. It was like, oh, this is not great. Also, they licensed Minecraft and EVE Online.
So they're they're more of they're a publisher more than a developer.
Yeah, and they've developed apparently some mobile games. Lord of the Rings, Rise of War, Tom and Jerry Chase, Harry Potter, Magic Awakened. So,
well,
I don't know.
I'm going to be doing a deep dive into that later. Well, my little video game fingers on that.
Okay, so yeah, but you see, it's one of those things, like those big Chinese gaming companies, it's like they do create some of the biggest games in the world. So I will say that, yeah, I think you're right. I don't feel like there's a lot of hope for David Cage to be removed. Again,
I mean, it's like, if it was like Tencent or something, I'd be like, everything will be the same. Who cares? But I mean, again, I have to look into it, but just hearing that they're most like known for working with Activision Blizzard on like Chinese versions of games that have really troubled development histories, I'm like, oh, okay, well.
That's a yikes, folks. That's a yikes.
Yeah. So, that said, I think it's hard to choose another, like, the question Greg asked was like, okay, who else could make a game? I know exactly
what I want, but I think it's kind of a cheat. Because it's...
spit it out.
Well, what I want was inspired by KOTOR, which is Mass Effect, but in the High Republic. And so I just feel like it's cheating, because what I want is like the BioWare dev team from like 10 years ago to make a sci-fi open world High Republic game. But the problem is that the sci-fi open world game that the BioWare team made was inspired by a game they made like 5 years before that was literally just Star Wars. So I don't know, because what I want is Mass Effect what I want is Mass Effect 1, but it's in the High Republic, and Mass Effect 1 is basically just a more up-to-date version of KOTOR, so...
That's what I was. That's kind of where I'm at too. Where it's like I feel like the cop out answer. It's funny to think that both of us look at it as a cop out. Is like a game like KOTOR, but in the High Republic.
Yeah.
You know, like that's what I'm craving. But I feel like we're already getting. Well, I've heard the KOTOR remake. I've heard rumors that it's gonna have a different combat system. They're gonna change some stuff up. It's not gonna be, and of course, I knew that. I don't think it's an opinion only I hold. But if
I don't think you can do like a 15, 20-year-old RPG game that like with that combat system and translate it to modern audiences that are and have it be
like a blockbuster hit.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think they can pair that, like, I think they can incorporate elements of it, but for it being, like, the relatively the same system, but just newer, I just don't think it was really ever on the table, because that's just not going to be what that's not going to be what, like, mainstream Star Wars fans that have not played KOTOR are going to want from a KOTOR game coming out in 2022.
Oh, Cole, you will be playing the game before. You will be playing the game before it comes out. I hope you realize that. Or at least you will be... You will experience somebody playing the game at the very least. Because
I have every intention.
Well, that's good to hear. I don't know, because I do feel like in the High Republic, I would like to see kind of a role-playing thing. Just because I feel like...
The world's so expansive.
Right.
Like the thing about the High Republic to me is that it's almost all world building. And so it feels like, okay, well, you have this whole thing that's about the world, and what do I want to do with a thing that's about the world? I want to be in it, so I want to be in an RPG and go explore and do stuff or whatever. I was also thinking, I don't know how I would do it, but I think you could also do maybe some sort of like Sid Meier's Civilization sort of strategy game about like hyperspace lanes or something. I don't know, because there's been a lot of like conquest and hyperspace lane and
I love that.
Territorial disputes. Maybe something where it's like, I don't know, like a Sid Meier's Civ where it's like the Nihil and the Republic and like the Hutts or something. I don't know.
We're doomed.
Anyway, sorry about the break. It'll be interesting to see how I handle that in video form. Because I've only ever had to do technical difficulties in audio. So we'll see what happens.
That'll be spicy.
Anyway, there's not going to be nudity. What is that?
That's not what I just meant spicy as in exciting.
I thought you were still talking about the Star Wars game, and I was like, did somebody say there had to be nudity in a Star Wars game?
Hey.
Spicy.
I
want my M-rated Star Wars game.
I saw
Eva.
Okay, thank you. That you're getting you knew where I was going.
Yeah.
I heard real quick aside, I saw some rumors about some beef between the Disney Bobs this week, and I'm just like, isn't Bob Iger out? Why would Bob Chapek be fighting him? Anyway,
they meet in the Denny's parking lot every once in a while to fist
someone said if Bob Iger comes back to Disney, say goodbye to R-rated content on Disney Plus. And I'm just like,
if Bob Iger came back to Disney, he would not be a CEO.
Is there R-rated content on there now?
Yeah.
Well, they just added age gating to it.
Yeah, because they're bringing over a lot of Marvel stuff from Netflix or whatever.
Like
the
and
they already did.
And Punisher.
Oh,
and those are R-rated.
Because I had to text Dakota and say, "Could you lift the age restrictions on my account?"
Baby boy's big enough for
Dakota said that I'm old enough to watch
Jessica
R-rated
Jones.
Must be at least 5'5" to watch these things.
Anyway,
I'll never see Daredevil.
anyway, lost my train of thought. Oh, a game I've been playing recently. That's like your Sid Meier's thing you just described. It's actually a mod. There's a game called Sins of a Solar Empire. It's like a Russian RPG that came out like 14 years ago or something. It came out a long time. It came out a long time ago. There's a mod for it called Sins of a Galactic Empire. I've never played the base game. I found out about this mod and was like, oh, this is exactly what I want. I'm just going to download this game and install the mod. And it's exactly what you think. It's a Star Wars 4X strategy game. Real time. And you can play as like New Republic, Rebel Alliance, Yuuzhan Vong, Empire, CIS, Republic, all the different factions.
Huh.
It's about conquest, taking stuff over. So, Eva, what I'm trying to say is that sounds sick. What you described sounds sick. And that's why I'm excited about the Star Wars strategy game that they also announced. So
What's the name of that? It's like an old, like early 2000s computer game.
Galactic Battlegrounds.
Galactic Battlegrounds.
Yes. Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
That one is just Age of Empires 2 with a Star Wars skin on it.
Yeah. Or
Which,
is that the one I was thinking of?
There's another
Empire
one
at
called
War?
Force Commander. Empire
at
War.
War. That's what I was thinking. Empire
Yeah.
at War.
No, that
Yeah.
one's sick. That game is sick.
I would love if they just did like an updated version of that.
Oh, me too.
honestly.
Me too. I would kill. When
Yeah.
I got Empire at War, I was actually on vacation, and we were at Walmart buying groceries for the week or whatever for vacation, and I saw it on the shelf. I was like, "Mom, can I get this?" And as she was like,
Well, there's more
"Yeah,
like,
sure,
Mom,
that's
can I
okay."
get this?
Yeah, pretty much. And she was like, "Yeah, sure, that's okay." So I had this game on like Monday, and I'm on vacation. I'm like, "Hey, I'm going on vacation," but every time I was constantly thinking like, I cannot wait to play Empire at War. I want to go home so I can play this game.
Yeah.
But
That's how my mom got me for Christmas when I was like 7 or 8. It was like the computer pack of Star Wars games that had like 5 games in it. So it was like Battlefront 1, 2, Republic
Yep,
Commando,
best of
Empire at
PC.
War.
best of
Yeah.
PC. You're right.
Yeah, it was that. And so I guess it was like in the early days of ordering it on the internet. And so for Christmas, I just got like a printout of like the order form. And it was like my mom's handwritten note that was like, we ordered this for you. It'll come sometime soon. And I don't know how long it was because it could not have been that long in reality. But in my like second grade mind or whatever, it took like 4 months for that game to come. And the second it did, I was like, this is the best thing that's ever happened.
Yeah, man, I don't know. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Obviously no Star Wars game can recapture the nostalgia and carefree nature of youth. Like, that is not what I'm saying. But I would love to see a game that kind of
Totally
harkens
true.
back to what LucasArts has done in the past.
Yeah.
Um,
What I'd want is like Republic Commando-esque FPS, probably.
in High Republic?
Maybe, I don't know. Any era, honestly. I don't really
Okay,
care.
okay,
Like,
okay.
some kind of squad-based FPS would be pretty fun, or
I think you could
Splinter
probably pull
Cell-esque
off.
stealth game.
Oh,
Cole,
man.
Cole,
Spies,
you've ruined me.
the game.
You've ruined me. That's when they're gonna reveal what a Bothan looks like.
You play as Borsk Thalia when he was a
Yes.
spy.
Well, and now you've ruined this idea.
I think
Thank you,
you could
you
probably
ruined
do
the
an
idea.
FPS in High Republic by, I don't know. Like, the Nihil, I feel like everything you're like, ooh, could I do this? Like, the Nihil's a scapegoat for being like, you want combat? Have these little freaks.
Right, at least you don't have to kill tons and tons of animals and fauna. You could just kill Nile. It's like
Just
no one's
sentient
gonna
beings
miss
to
them.
kill.
If anyone ever
mean-
hurts Lorna D again,
That's actually a part of my show and tell this not hurting Lorna D.
Hurting Lorna. What?
Wow,
No,
that's
Ben's
not
gonna
live
punch a
torture.
cut out of Lorna D right in front of me.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm sure there were other questions. Oh, there is one quick thing I wanted to mention. Our pal, longtime listener of the show at this point, Mogo, longtime patron, ran. We've had a few different kind of Skyhoppers affiliated name character polls happening.
Mhm.
None of them on the official Star Wars Skyhoppers Twitter, but affiliated.
Yes. Sponsored by.
There is. Moga was running one called the Skyhoppers High Republic Noon March Madness Showdown.
Mhm.
This was just a general. This was just kind of a general. What?
I was going to announce the winner, but go on. Continue describing it first.
No, I was describing the contest, which is that it basically was just a general character ranking contest. Whereas Tom is ranking the names. I think that one is wrapping up today.
I think today is the last day to vote, but I don't know if voting already ended. I don't know.
I don't know how Yeet won't win, but whatever.
Sarn Starbreaker.
Sarn Starbreaker is a really good name.
Incredible name.
Come on.
Okay,
Yeet.
if something like Yeet was gonna win, it should have been Egga. Egga is the best.
I think Wet Bub should have won. And
Wet Bub. Wet Bub is the best name. We're voting on the second best.
The second
in
best.
Tom's
right.
Anyway,
but in the other poll, Geode won as he should have.
Yeah, and I'm mad about it. Because it's a meme. The whole thing, it's a meme. Geode is a meme. That's it. He's not a character.
That's not true.
I don't care about Geode because what I'm gonna everyone who voted not for Elzar Man, get out. Stop listening to this podcast.
That's exactly what I thought too.
You're not allowed to listen to the Skyhoppers podcast if you didn't vote for Elzar Man.
I didn't vote for Elzar Man. I wouldn't vote for Elzar Man. I'm not sorry.
Well, get off the podcast.
You're not allowed on here at all. Oh god, we should have talked about this more on the show because I've got some feelings. Geode, like I said, Geode. There's nothing. It's hard because I know I've got this reputation for being a Star Wars grump, and I get that. Yeah, because I am.
Geode is cool.
I have no problem. There are moments with Geode that I think are fun. I think are funny. Like I don't hate Geode. I don't want to kill Geode. I don't want Geode to die like some people said I want.
Not like Baby Yoda.
Yeah, thank you.
You don't hate him as much as you hate Grogu.
Oh, God. That's no, not at all. I do not think Geode is a true character. I think he's a bit. And I think the fact that he's won is shameful. That's what I'm saying.
I think that's appalling because have you even finished Midnight Horizon?
I have.
Okay, never mind then.
Yeah, I did a long time ago. And I feel this way. I still feel this way.
He's got some standout moments at the end of the High Republic Adventures arc too. I think he's a great character, and I think he's only going to get better.
I will say, I have not finished the High Republic Adventures. So Dakota, you could be onto something there. I'll give you that much.
I don't think they're going to change your mind, but...
At least Dakota's honest.
At least you're honest.
If you didn't get it by the end of Midnight Horizon, I think you're a goner. But
yeah.
All right.
You're past saving.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. What are we talking about? Oh, we're talking
show
about
and tell.
The poll. It's show and tell time?
No, we were
okay.
Is it? Unless if we're done talking about the poll. If you two are done whining about it.
It's time for the show and tell.
It is time for show and tell. And what I wanted to say, I'm gonna go first because it's my podcast. No, I'm kidding. I'm gonna go first because this is relevant to something we were just talking about. I didn't even know.
We're gonna go back and forth though, right?
Yeah. I'm not gonna go
turns.
Okay. Yeah. I did not even know this had released yet. But I was at the store the other day. Tempest Runner.
Oh, sick!
The script is out. I had no idea.
It's huge.
Me neither.
It is giant. It's like 500 pages.
Let me see the side of it.
You what?
Show us that thickness.
Spine.
Yeah, for a script, that's really big.
It's
I'm
I mean,
it
makes sense. I mean, I feel like they maybe didn't want Jedi Lost to be as super long. Maybe it wasn't that one like 6 hours still though.
I thought they were around the same length.
Yeah,
I thought I thought
Yeah.
Jedi Lost was much shorter, but I
I
couldn't look
actually-
that up.
I don't have my phone on me, so I can't check, but I thought they were around the same length.
I actually
Physical
don't
books
even
are
have
definitely way less thick
Hmm.
really.
for both of the other ones.
I
I saw that one, I was like,
like,
"What is this?"
Afra is significantly thinner. I actually don't have Jedi Lost, and that's one of the reasons why I picked up Tempest Runner, because I'm just like, the hardcovers of these are like any other Star Wars hardcovers. If you don't get them when they come out, they become a lot harder to find as time goes on. Until that, like, anyone who's looking for a hardcover copy of Tarkin knows what I'm talking about.
Best of luck to
They're
you.
like- yeah, they just sell for I mean, they're out there. If you want to find
But
one for
at
a
what
price you want to
cost?
pay. Yeah, exactly. A price you want to pay. That's when it becomes difficult. But Tempest Runner, I think everyone who's listened to it has pretty much raved about it on this podcast. I think we all liked it. Yeah, I thought it was very good. So
It's-
this
it's
You
was
can
the
read
best
my
one.
100
No
word
opinion.
read my 100-word review on the Skyhoppers podcast website.
it's
Okay,
just
so I have the run times of all 3 audiobooks. And the shortest is Afra at 336 minutes. Then Tempest Runner at 360 minutes. And Jedi Lost is actually the longest at 382 minutes.
I wonder if if there's a different format on the
Font
inside
format? Yeah.
Mhm. I feel like there
Uh,
must be.
Or maybe they included more sound effects in the script for Tempest Runner.
Oh,
Lots
maybe.
of pew 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 pew.
Because
There's-
they did a lot more. I mean, they did a lot with the audio in Jedi Lost, but they did a lot more with background audio in Tempest Runner. So maybe a lot of that's in the script too.
Maybe. The only
That's a good point.
physical copy I have is Afra, so I can't check that.
Yeah, anyway, that's my first item. It's a very new addition to my collection. It's real. I mean, and I think the art's super cool. Lorna D. It's funny because a lot of the Nihil helmets, I'm going to say this, but I don't mean in a bad way. They look kind of stupid. They look kind of goofy, but they look very over the top. Lorna D has struck the perfect balance of like,
Yeah.
this looks ridiculous, but also stay away from me.
I'm in love
Because
with her. I just need.
I-
I'm just like, oh my
For
god.
sure.
She is truly,
Same.
Yeah.
Big same.
Yeah.
truly a great character. But that's my first thing. There. Kept it brief. Someone else go.
Do
I
we want to
know.
go alphabetical?
Oh,
That makes
okay,
sense.
Yeah, we
Just
should
make
go
it easy.
alphabetical. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. 1 second.
Cole.
1 second. We love that. Oh, I know what that is. I know what that is.
Yeah, we're gonna go with the obvious one.
right.
It's my 20th anniversary edition of Heir to the Empire, which is
Good.
Here we go.
Yep. This is where I show off basically. Where's the page?
Do it, Cole. Do it.
Do it. Yeah, is where. See, it's signed
Nice.
by Mr. Zahn
Purples.
himself.
Love
The
that.
That's-
man, the myth, the legend.
Almost.
I constantly-
going on 3 years ago.
I constantly
Love
think about
that.
when I had him sign my copy of Thrawn, the canon version, at Celebration, and I was the only one in line that had that instead of Heir to the Empire.
It was you. It was you. I remember hearing this story, but I couldn't remember who told it. It was you.
Yeah. I was in line with a bunch of people at Star Wars Celebration Chicago, and was getting him to sign my copy of the canon Thrawn book, and it was like you could noticeably see the surprise when I put that down on the table instead of Heir to the
And
That
I
was
love
probably
this edition
nice
because
though.
the
Like,
actual hardcover is black and
Oh,
white.
that's so cool.
oh, that's
It's
gorgeous.
What the
so
heck?
good. It's
It's
so
beautiful.
good.
It
that
really
is
is.
so cool.
I had no idea that was there. I've seen the
silver dust jacket.
Yeah, the dust
Yeah.
jacket. That's what I was looking for. But I didn't know
Mhm.
there was such a beauty underneath.
Yeah,
and
descriptive audio. It's the original cover, the original art for Heir to the Empire, but it's like printed
Textless,
on the
black and white.
actual. Yeah, just
And then the
printed
book
on the
itself-
actual
the book itself
right.
has annotations in it from the author and the editor, and it's really good.
Ooh.
That's what I want more than anything. Are those annotations?
Mhm.
I've read
Just-
it with them, and it's great.
Oh, of course. God,
my library
I bet-
has that.
You know what's annoying is the library has it, and they've probably, it's got the plastic over the cover, so you can't actually like take the the dust jacket off and look at it. Cole has probably just pulled like 3 different books that he got signed by Timothy Zahn. Those are his show and tells.
Yeah.
I could have.
Yeah.
Because
but I
Cole's met
didn't.
Timothy Zahn like 5 times. He'll downplay it, but it's like 5 times. It's like
Twice.
5 times. Anyway, thank you, Cole, for sharing. That is obviously
You're welcome. You're welcome.
hella dope. Dakota, what do you have for us
Okay.
this evening?
For my first item, I have this little Grogu that was
Oh.
once on a cake and now sits on my my bookshelf.
I
love
love it.
him.
It's a
Look at his
flat
smile.
it's a flat cartoony smiling Grogu and he's waving.
He's doing
And
the
he
Vulcan
just looks-
salute.
He's very cute.
Thank you, Dakota. That is beautiful.
Prosper and
I-
live long.
That's my wholesome first item.
I actually, for a long time, I had a Darth Maul cake when I was young for my birthday one year. There was a little Darth Maul figurine on it. I kept it as a toy and played with it for,
Heck yeah.
forever. So I'm familiar with keeping cake decorations. Eva, what about you? What have you brought to show the class?
What have I brought to show the class?
Which Anakin Skywalker toy have you brought?
First of all, that's later. Second of all, I was collecting my little items, and I was like, wow, these are so on brand that I know I'm going to be so roasted when we get to this part of the podcast. What I have brought is my limited run Big Boy Star Wars Episode 1 Racer for the PlayStation 4. Which came with a trading card, the game, a silver N64 cartridge thing, and a poster, I believe.
That is so sick.
So, and it comes with like a little retro, like it's obviously in the little retro like N64 style box. So, and on the back it says "Feel the Force, 600 miles per hour, 4 feet off the ground." So,
So good.
Yeah. I have not played the re-release yet because I've been waiting until I feel like I have the mental energy to platinum this bad boy because I have to. I have to. So, right now it's currently still sealed, and what I like the most about this version is if you look really closely, Watto's there.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah.
Boom, boom, bam.
Trying to see if there's anything else.
So
Yeah.
much.
That's
That is-
that's my first item. Very on brand. I love it very much. And at the time, I was like, should I spend this much money on this? And the answer was, of course, yes.
Yes,
Obviously.
resounding yes. Well,
Yeah.
Eva, you'll be happy to know the re-release holds up. The game still plays so well.
Yeah.
I think racing games generally just do. You know what I mean? It's like if they were good when they came out, a lot of times they're going to be good when as they age.
Yeah.
That one's no exception. Do you have any other limited run games, or was that or limited run Star Wars games, or was that the one?
I think that's the only one I have. I'd have to check to be sure, but I don't typically do limited run purchases just because money. So but when they were doing the racer one, obviously I had to say yes. So
I'm gonna pose a question to the panel here. Are there any other limited run products on the show and tell docket this evening? I'm looking at you, Cole.
No.
Okay, you didn't grab them because I was watching. Actually, there's a YouTube channel I like, Lazy Game Reviews. It goes by LGR now. It's one guy. He covers games still sometimes, but usually it's like retro PC stuff, retro electronics is what he does now. People just send him tech, and he'll ever periodically have like an hour-long video opening the packages that people have sent him. Someone just gave him the limited run X-Wing and TIE Fighter. And
so
I'm
good.
like, it legitimately, like, I try, as I'm an adult, I try not to be selfish. I try not to be petty. I was watching this, and I'm just like, you have got to be freaking kidding me. I would kill to have those, and you're just gonna give them to a YouTuber.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was not one of my finer moments, to be sure. But I do have another little Star Wars item that actually is another fairly recent addition to my collection. And I didn't even actually pick this one up. It was kind of a gift. I have this tiny little golden 3D printed Wicket.
Wicket.
Little Wicket.
I love Little Wicket.
And if you look at the bottom, he's probably about 1.5 inches, 2 inches tall. If you look at the bottom, there's a sticker that says Baby Yoda 812, Madison, Indiana, Bloomington, Indiana. My friends are the ones who found this. There is a trail in Bloomington that runs from like north downtown all the way to south of town. It's called the Beeline. And apparently, if you go to Instagram at Baby Yoda 812, you could find that it's just a guy who lives around the area, 3D prints little Star Wars figures, little models, little statuettes, and just places them around town. Just places them around southern Indiana for people to find.
That's awesome.
Nice.
And I'm just like, this is the nicest thing. It's just this little golden Wicket. What's not to love? Look at him.
You got a golden
Yeah.
Wicket.
That's really good. Cole's on it with the potential episode titles this evening. Yeah, it's just one of those things. I just feel like to me, that is like what Star Wars fandom should be about. Is, you know, it's like we're all weirdos. We're all obsessed with this space wizard nonsense. Do something nice with it. Make someone's day. You know? I don't know. I think it's cool. I say that, you know, being the grumpiest person on the podcast for sure. Cole gives me a run for my money sometimes, but usually I do think it is me that is the grumpiest person on the podcast.
There's just certain subjects that make me grumpy, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas really anything could set me off if it's the wrong day.
Yeah, because another day, years later, you'll be like totally into it.
That's what makes it worse. At least you're consistent. Cole, what's your next item? Please share.
Let's see. I have to, choose. I pulled several things. I wasn't sure how many we ended up doing.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with.
that's where I'm at.
Go with this guy for now. This.
Him.
It's Anakin
forgot you-
Starfighter from the Clone Wars micro series, the Lego set.
Yeah. That's
What's the name of
sick.
it? What's it called again?
Oh, it's called the Azure Angel.
Azure Angel.
Yeah.
That's another one of those things that just looks. Oh, sorry, Cole. Do you were gonna say something else?
No. Go ahead.
Okay, I was just say looks really over the top. Looks a little.
It's perfect.
Like it. When was that? I mean, was that, I guess, manufactured around the time the micro series was coming out, or did that come out later?
No, this was like within the last 3 or 4 years, I think. Like it was
Really?
during the more recent. I don't know for sure what the date was on it, but I'd have to look it up. But yeah,
Huh.
it's not from 2003 or something. It's not that old.
Okay.
I remember finding it in a Walmart. And I was like, "What? I didn't know they made this. This is amazing."
It actually, granted, I'm searching Bing shopping right now, so let me go to Google. I am looking Azure Angel Star Wars Lego set. Shopping. Oh, that's a custom one. It looks like it's pretty hard to find. It looks like you got pretty lucky, Cole. It does not come up
Yeah.
in any listings that I'm seeing here on Google. Granted, Google Shopping is an aggregator, so dang. That's crazy.
Well, I think that's just Lego sets in general. Like once they go out of print, it's usually hard to find them. And even being just a few years old, if they don't make it anymore, they don't make it anymore. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, again, thank you for sharing. Very cool. All my Star Wars Legos are unfortunately in pieces, in bags, carefully labeled and organized, of course, under my bed, but they're gone. Dakota, welcome back. Have you joined us? Have you rejoined us?
I have.
Okay.
Just in time.
just in time. Do you have another item for us?
I do have another item. I'm not entirely positive about the history of these, so perhaps someone out there knows more than I do. But my dad has an auction problem. In that he goes to auctions and buys stuff.
All right.
All the time. Just everything, every auction. And if there's something like marginally related to an interest that he knows that I have, he will buy it and then give it to me. And sometimes I'm like, oh, thanks. But then sometimes it's something cool. Like these, like, what were once nice printed like shots from Empire Strikes Back. They now have some water damage, and I don't know, but they're just like these neat little things, and I'm gonna put them in frames and put them on my wall at some point. But they're just these cool shots from Empire Strikes Back, and it's neat. We've got
Excellent.
this one.
That was so good.
Yeah.
That one is really good. The Luke and Vader
Iconic.
duel, crossing lightsabers. Yeah.
Oh yes, the first one.
Yeah, thank you, Dakota.
Yeah, I forgot. The first one is Han and Luke and a Tauntaun on Hoth. And then the second one is Luke and Vader dueling on Bespin. And then I also have one of Vader standing right after they
Yes.
carbonite Han Solo. And you can see
Fett
Boba
and
Fett.
Ugnaught.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
And a stormtrooper
Granted-
there. It's pretty great.
I have seen these movies quite a few times. I don't have an encyclopedic knowledge of literally every shot. I
Yeah.
will say though that definitely that first one with Luke and Han, that's got to be like a promo still or something.
Uh-huh.
Like and the last one as well, I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure is probably a promo still. So
Uh-huh.
unfortunately, maybe one of you two, Cole or Eva, knows more than I do. They could be from literally anything. They could be
Yeah, I don't
original.
know.
They could be from the special editions,
Mhm.
which is probably more likely because they look like they're in
Mhm.
decent shape.
Yeah.
But I just like it's one of those things. Star Wars and merchandising have always gone hand in hand. God only knows
Mhm.
where they came from and what they were a
Yeah.
part of.
Mhm.
Super cool one way or the other. I
Uh-huh.
I won't because I want you to have it, but I would pay you money for the Luke Skywalker fighting Darth Vader one. There is
Yeah.
something about the blue and orange and
It's,
the dark with
it's-
the lightsabers.
Yeah.
The colors
It's
are so
so
good.
It's
It
definitely the
awakens
best
something
one.
in me. It awakens
Yeah.
something in me, you know?
It's good to
Um,
look at.
Thank you. That's a maybe that's what I'll call the episode. It's good to look at.
It's good to look at. The episode is good to look at.
That's it. That's it.
Eva, do you have an item for us?
I sure do. This one is a favorite of mine. Straight from 1999. I have had this literally my entire life by Ryder Wyndham. The Star Wars Episode 1 Who's Who book. It's just,
A little.
yeah. It is literally just a catalog of all the random characters.
One
in
bandits.
Star Wars. Yeah.
So cool.
It's very tiny. It's my favorite thing in the world. I've had it literally as long as I've been alive. I do not remember never owning this. It's got all my favorite little ugly boys in it. Yeah. It's perhaps one of my favorite items that I own. There he is right there, the man, the myth, the legend,
Fantastic.
Gunray.
With his lips.
Yeah. It's also got, like, randomly, it'll have, like, stills from the movie just, like, in the middle of the
We gotta
book.
fill some pages,
Like-
so here's a
Like,
picture.
here's one just of the Nemoidians hanging out.
It's from the picture, you see.
This one is just Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon scenically looking out.
That one's really good. That one's
yeah.
really
Yeah,
good.
so
It's a
I
full
really
two-page
enjoyed
spread. It's
it.
like 3 inches.
Yeah, it's such a tiny book. I can't find it right now, but there is one of.
It's what we
there's,
call
like,
a splash
really-
page in the comics.
There's a really
What is
nice
this
one.
voice? Character, what is it? What is this
I love
character you're
this
doing?
character.
Here we go. Here he is. There he is.
This close up, this
A
2-page
boy.
spread on close up on Anakin's face after he's won the pod race.
Yeah. This is when I want you guys to know that for a long time when I was single in college and girls would come to my apartment, this is the first thing that I would show them was this little
Wow.
book about Star Wars episode 1 to Phantom Menace.
That's a good move.
So yeah. So I love
Classy.
it very much.
Um,
And if you read the beginning where the copyright information is, there's like a little thing that's like, hey, we really encourage you to buy this at your local bookstore, but if you can't find it, then we will mail this book to you for $1.
Wow.
It's amazing.
wow.
That's
Yeah.
neat.
Yeah.
I want one.
So, yeah, copyright 1999.
Wow. I did.
Fantastic.
I'll just file that under books that Ryder Wyndham wrote for Star Wars that I didn't know
Yeah.
existed, of which that list is constantly growing.
You could have a whole
Yeah.
library of those, and it would take up like a foot. It's
But that's the
amazing.
thing is that my mom probably got this for me when I was a child, and I've never seen. I don't know if there's one for episode 2 or episode 3 or any of the other movies. I've never seen another copy of this either. Like, I don't know where this came from. I don't know where my mom got it. I've never seen a second one in the wild, and I've never seen one for any of the other movies. But I have it, so
There's
What's the
maybe I'm
title of it?
wrong.
the title is just Star Wars Episode 1: Who's Who.
I think there's
Wild.
something
Oh.
nice. I think personally there's something nice about having those Star Wars things that's like, I've had this forever. I have no idea where it came from. I don't know. It's like, I'm sure there are others out there. I've never seen them. They might as well
There's-
not exist.
There's
it's
also like a tiny 3-page introduction that he wrote that's talking about like the development of the Star Wars series, where it's like
Wow.
the first page is like a tiny little introduction of being like, when Star Wars came out, it was Star Wars, and then all of a sudden there was episode 5. Where did episode 5 come from? And then it goes into like the production of the sequels
Beautiful.
or the prequels, I guess. So
sequels. What did he know?
yeah,
What did
everything.
he, anyway, what do I have next? Got a couple options. I don't want to overstay my welcome here. I'm having trouble deciding. I know what I want to do last.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm gonna do.
Same.
Because this showcases a good work that somebody else has done. I have in my hands, and I've definitely talked about this before, Star Wars, the Despecialized Edition. This is a Blu-ray collection that one of my best friends, her husband, made it for me. I don't even know him that well, but he knows that I like Star Wars a lot. He also likes Star Wars a lot, and that was enough for him to be like, he's gonna want this. I have to put this together. I have a Blu-ray burner. I have a duty. So obviously I have digital editions of the Star Wars Despecialized editions, right? Any good Star Wars fan does. I said it. So we've got the only complaint I have, and I say this because he'll never listen. The only complaint I have is we do have just plain blank plain blank CDs, or Blu-rays discs. However, because that's only disappointing because he like printed out some box art with a bunch of all the like the regulatory stuff and all the logos on the back and a ton of like descriptions on the back. It's really, really well put together. So while we only have blank plain Blu-rays, we've got the first three Star Wars movies, but then we have a disc called Star Wars Documentaries, a disc called Star Wars Special Features, Empire Strikes Back Special Features, and a disc called Return of the Jedi Special Features.
Ooh.
There is like 15-20 hours worth of stuff in this box. It's become one of my prized possessions just because all of the documentaries on it are so good. All of the special features are so good because it's not just stuff that like came with DVDs or Blu-ray box sets or whatever. It's like other stuff. Some of it's even fan stuff that's been put together and compiled onto these collections. And I'm sure there's a collection out there on the internet that this is burned from, but I don't know what it is. But Kevin knew what it is, and that's all that mattered, because Kevin put this and grabbed what might be the best Star Wars poster art, which is the original with buff Luke Skywalker and like half naked Princess Leia with Luke holding the lightsaber above his head with Darth Vader in the background. You all know the poster I'm talking about, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love it. It appeals to Dakota. I can tell you don't want me to start talking about home releases. I can tell right here. Like, I just realized why you've seemed so down on this.
Dakota's upset.
Because I was getting ready to say, like, this encompasses everything I love. It's fan cuts of the movie. It's a physical release. It is the OT. There are so many things happening here that I love. But I'm gonna move on for Dakota's sake. I'm done.
Dissociating. It's fine.
Cole, bring Dakota back to this plane of existence with your next item.
Okay, so I want to offer 2 quick updates. I looked up that Lego set. It's from 2015, so it's relatively
It's fairly old. Yeah,
And there was a new in-box one on eBay that was selling, like, had bids on it just up to $87. So,
classic.
You know,
not as
classic
bad as
Lego
it could be,
stuff.
though. Not as bad as it could
that's cheaper than I thought it would be, honestly.
be. Me
yeah,
too.
it's not sold. It just has bids, so it could go higher. So we'll see.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, I found that there's a second one of those pocket guide things. I found it on Amazon. It's for the original trilogy, so it's even older than the one you've got, Evan. But what was so funny was I was like looking through it, and I went down into the reviews. There's a 1-star review for it, but it says it's from 1999 on Amazon. I didn't know that. Is Amazon that old?
Yeah.
Amazon's been around for a really long time, Cole.
Oh my gosh,
Well,
it's like it says it's from May 31st, 1999.
That's
It's
probably
like
one of the
1 star.
earlier. That's probably one of the earliest reviews on the
Yeah.
site.
That's
I was like,
wild.
My gosh.
Why do they hate
I
it?
did not know.
Imagine leaving a 1-star review for this book in 1999.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the review. I hated
Read
it.
it,
It was a waste
please.
of money, and I think I'd want to know. I want to know about a character by the Essential Guide of Star Wars Characters because this was a waste of money and time. Trust me.
Oh, that's cute.
Oh my gosh.
A waste of
there you go.
time.
Trust me. Yeah, because when I see a book this small, I think this is going to be so full of Star Wars information that I'm going to learn everything.
They didn't read the fine print, as it were, and see that it was like 3 inches tall.
The dashing playboy Wans Sedan. Like, they called this man a dashing playboy, first of all. This is not where you go to for your verified Star Wars information.
That looks like a
Probably not.
dashing playboy to me.
Anyway, on to my actual item. So, this is a Black Series figure. It is the Clone
Nice.
Wars Kenobi, General Kenobi from the Gindie Clone Wars series. But
Nice.
he's not just the Black Series figure because he's been modified. The original one had the wrong head on him and came with the wrong lightsaber, and so I have corrected those things.
Nice.
And he also
Yes.
has a upgraded wired cape, so you can give him like really dynamic poses with like the flying cape and stuff.
I love that.
Nice.
So
Beautiful.
Nice.
he's one of my
Did
favorites.
he-
I love him.
Did he come with the wired cape?
No, the wired cape is an upgrade as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
I respect that immensely. Just the amount of work that it takes for people that, I mean, for you yourself to make updates and I know you've worked on some custom figures.
Mhm.
And just the amount of work that people like make some amount of money selling these things. It just makes you think like Hasbro, come on. Just do it right the first time. You could be making this money. But
Yep, you think so.
Whatever.
But I'm just glad they made
We're-
the figure at all.
right.
So-
And plus we're Star
It was
Wars
also
fans.
a
Nothing
hunt
is ever
to
right.
find.
Oh, I bet.
'Cause
Cole,
it was-
we talked. What?
It was a Walgreens exclusive figure.
How many
madness.
how many of them could possibly be out there even?
I don't
Yeah.
know, but I
Like-
went to so many Walgreens looking for this guy.
But that's part of the fun, isn't it? Is the
It
hunt.
is part of the fun. but
The
it
hunt,
was also
the thrill
exhausting.
of the hunt.
Nerve-wracking. You think you're not gonna get it?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, we're sick. We're all sick.
little
And
bit.
twisted.
Dakota, do you have another
We
item
knew
for us?
that. Oh yeah, I've got a couple more. How many more am I doing?
I don't know. I've got one more that I'll probably do.
Okay, so I can. I'll
So
save
you've
my
got two
last
more.
one.
You've got two more.
Yeah,
You've got two
okay,
more if you
okay,
got
okay.
them.
So my next item was one of the items that Tom sent me for Christmas, and
Aw.
it is the one that I couldn't reach on the top of my bookshelf because I'm not Cole, and I had to stand on a chair. And it is this beautiful bust of Jango Fett.
It's so good.
It's
Oh,
really-
I'm jealous all
it's
over again.
heavy too. It's like
Hefty.
10. It's like 10 pounds.
I mean, it's
way
canonically
heavier
incorrect.
than
It's
it
missing
looks.
the wrong appendage.
It's missing 2 appendages.
And neither of them are the right one.
It's a bust.
You know why it's so heavy? It's made of Beskar.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
of
it is.
course.
Look at
Oh,
that. Look at
jetpack.
those.
Look at it.
Sexy
He's-
jetpack.
Glorious.
If you asked me to choose between Boba Fett's jetpack and Jango Fett's jetpack, I don't know that I could. Honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I just and I'm looking at the bottom now, and it's a limited edition Gentle Giant Studios Jango Fett, and it is number 409 out of 2,500.
Not that many of those.
Not
and
that many.
you know at some percentage of them have been destroyed. So there are fewer
Yeah.
than 2,500 out there.
There are.
Mhm.
I wonder if the 501st one is worth more,
Ooh, it should be.
or 1138.
Hey. I bet someone would pay a premium for number 1138. I bet because I would.
Yeah, because you're sick.
Like I said, we're all sick.
We are. We're
Uh,
sickos.
Eva, do you have an item?
I do. I was looking through it right now, actually. Straight from the year 2005. Star Wars: Revenge of the Sith movie cards,
Yes, the go.
and I
go.
have them. It's where I also keep my other collectible little cards. So like the limited run came with this sick pod racer little card that's
Holographic?
yeah.
Holographic.
I've also got some. I've got some old like solo movie cards in here too. But of course, the real shining star is that when I found this at McKay's, it does still have all of the Revenge of the Sith movie cards in it,
Nice.
That is too sick.
including this sick holographic Vader.
Yeah.
This embossed foil card.
Ooh.
Also, it's got this sticker, 6 out of 10 stickers. So, but the cards are just like random characters from the movie and random scenes. So, clashing with the Count, where it's Anakin and Dooku fighting,
Nice.
and this one's just one of the starfighters from the beginning. Yeah. So I just like it. I like finding things that came out when the prequels came out and just putting them in my house. Because if it was made between 1998 and 2006, maybe I'm getting it.
Are they like tops cards or are they?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, they're Topps trading cards, and some of them have like little facts on the back. So like this one's like battling with buzz droids, and then it like gives you like a summary of the scene from the movie on the back of it. And if it's like a character card, it gives you like little facts about like Chancellor Palpatine. So again, more random facts from the prequels in my collection.
I love it.
Love it.
I love it. I have some. I think I got them in a Star Wars Commonwealth Secret Santa in like 2016. They are actually like metal embossed cards that are. Dakota, why are you sending me a Snapchat right now? That concerns me. They're metal embossed cards that are covers of. They're the covers of the Dark Empire 2 comics. Which are
nice.
so sick. One of those things that's like so 90s, so kitschy Star Wars collectible. I love everything about it. I know I said I was going to do one more. Go
the
ahead,
rest of
Evan,
the
go
ones
ahead.
I've got are solo. I've also got some from actually the Star Wars Celebration too. I only have 3, but she had made the Star Wars women trading cards,
Mm-hmm.
so I've got a couple of those too.
Nice.
I've got Sienna, Ree, Ahsoka, and Padme. So I've got a couple of
Sienna.
those.
I was gonna
Basically,
pretty high tier ones.
yeah, people love to just give me Star Wars trading cards, even though I don't make an effort to get them. So whenever I do, I just add them to my little movie card box from Revenge of the Sith.
I love that you have a little box for it though.
Yeah,
You have
I
a
know, it's
specific
convenient.
movie card box.
Yeah, it's truly very convenient that I think my girlfriend and I found it at McKay's or something, and I was like, oh, sick box, I'm gonna get it. And I bought it, and I opened it, and the cards were still in there, and I was like, nice!
McKay's has given you so much joy, and I'm so happy for you.
I think most of my Star Wars collection has come from McKay's.
Love McKay's.
That's the way you do it. That's the way you do it. I know I said I was gonna do one more. I'm gonna cheat real quickly. I had Dakota. Don't shake your head like I am a war criminal.
You are.
I have this.
I'm
Star
gonna
Wars-
unbutton another button
There-
for this.
There are so many good episode titles floating around in this one. I'm gonna really struggle to pick one. This is actually from the Star Wars miniatures game, despite the fact it's pretty big. Speaking of Dark Empire,
That's no miniature.
it is. It's the X1 Viper Automaton battle droid. They're pretty big. I'm not gonna linger on it. I think they're pretty sick.
It's
from
sick.
Dark Empire. I got it for super cheap. I got it for like $1 at Game Store. This is the last thing though that I'm gonna bring. This is maybe not like none. I couldn't pick one of these as the best, but I think this is one is specifically of a certain time, and this is my little beat up but still pretty good looking
Yeah.
Star Wars original soundtrack. Not full score. This is a soundtrack, so not everything is here. Double LP from 1977.
Nice.
And so I think it's cool because this is before home video was readily available. So you've got this gatefold cover that opens up, and we've got screens from the movies,
Oh,
or the
beautiful.
movie, the one movie, which I always love whenever stuff like that exists. In things that were, it's like, as a kid, maybe you just didn't have the Return of the Jedi VHS. So it was cool to have like the original trilogy scrapbook, or like, screens from a movie used to be so much more impressive than they are now.
Yeah.
With like you buy like the young reader novel that's got a bunch of pictures in the middle from the movie.
Yeah.
Actually,
even-
I wasn't gonna show this one, but I did get a shrink wrapped one of the Phantom Menace. So just like it just has the pictures.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You say junior novel, but I'm pretty sure the Last Jedi novelization has pictures in the middle of it.
Nice.
I still think it's cool. I just think it's a neat touch, especially
neat.
whenever you love it. It is neat.
I just
Whenever
think
you-
it's
To look at.
The weirdest thing about this, though, is it's a pretty standard, like, the records are actually in pretty good shape. But one thing that I noticed that was super odd whenever I played it for the first time was... Okay, we're looking here. We've got... This is side 1. Look, you can all kind of see yourselves in the reflection there. This is side 1. And I'm like, okay, I've played a record or two before. I think I know how this works. I'm going to flip it over, and it's going to be side 2. No. On the back of side 1 is side 4.
What?
Huh. That's weird.
So I'm like, that is very odd. First of all, side 1, the titles we have are the main title, Imperial Attack, Princess Leia's Theme, and the Desert and the Robot Auction. And then we have The Last Battle and the Throne Room and End title, which I think is actually still the name of that track today. But I do like that it's just called The Last Battle.
Yeah.
Anyway, obviously, disc 2, you would given the setup, you would expect disc or side 2 and 3 to be on the same disc as well, which they are. I found out after some research, this is because this was made specifically with auto change record players in mind, which were apparently a thing during that time. And the way it worked is you would load up. There were two different turntables in the record player, so you would load up side 1 and side 2, and it saves the amount of flipping you have to do, especially on like a double LP. So it's one of those things. So like right now in 2022, trying to play on one turntable, this sucks.
Yeah.
Because I am not only flipping a record, I'm getting out a different one if I want to just listen all the way through. But for the time, that's just
So strange.
it feels like
That's so
it feels
funny.
like such a 70s thing to me.
Yeah.
Too, where it's like we're just figuring out electronics and computers, and this is what we choose to do with it. This is the best we can do is a double record player. I don't know. It's kitschy, and I think it's fun.
Yeah,
it's
really cool.
another kind of it's another crown jewel of my collection. Something I'm really proud of. But that's me. Those are my items.
Is this our last round?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I also have that, but I don't think I've ever noticed that side 4 is on the back of side 1. That's
because
very
you don't care. You're
amusing.
chaotic. You just play
Yeah.
it. You decide one,
I
side
just
3.
I just flip it and I'm like, ooh, weird. They put this song next. Okay, I'm going with it. Okay.
There
so
are also
Colza.
definitely there are some weird cuts as well. If you listen to track 1, that is main title, after it does the Star Wars thing a couple times, it goes into the end credits. The and I'm just like, what?
Huh. Interesting.
It's really weird. I can rip stuff with my record player. Maybe sometime in the next few days I'll rip it, and so everyone can see just how odd it really is. But yeah, that's me. Those are my items.
So my final item is going to be the obvious thing.
Yeah.
Oh my
Nice.
god.
Of course.
It's my Galaxy's
so
Edge
jealous.
lightsaber. Of course,
Yeah.
the sleeve on it, this top black sleeve, is actually a 3D printed one that I bought off Etsy, I think.
Nice.
So it's even like more custom. I've got several different like 3D printed parts I use for it. But yeah,
I love that.
Unfortunately, I don't have the battery pack in it right now, so it doesn't light up at the moment. Because you can't keep it in it, otherwise it'll drain the battery.
But
Even if you
Cole,
don't turn
what
it
color
on.
is your Kyber crystal?
Don't you have all of them?
Well, I do have all the kyber crystals.
Oh,
It
one
was
I
a great
got
question,
with it was
Emma.
the
It was a
purple
great
one.
question. You just asked the worst possible person.
I'm a fool.
Yeah, but yeah, that's
Oh,
Saber.
that's so cool.
it's
Literally
pretty
the
great.
only reason I ever want to go to Disney World is to go to Galaxy's Edge to make a lightsaber.
Yeah, same.
Same. Me too.
Want that real bad.
Yeah. I remember our whenever Cole came back from Galaxy's Edge for our episode of Abro Skywalkers where we talked about the Rise of Skywalker. I remember Cole bragging and playing his
I was there.
igniter into the microphone. You were there for that one, Dakota. It feels that story feels a little less narrow since 3 of us were there instead of just 2.
Yeah.
Good
I
times,
learned.
good times.
Dakota, what about you?
Oh yeah. So my final item came from the Monroe County Public Library book sale. It is Star Wars Union.
Y'all are just trying to piss me off now.
Yes!
Oh man.
It is the collected Star Wars Union by our friend and lover Michael A. Stackpole.
Friend and lover.
Yeah,
With
friend and
pencils.
lover of the show, Michael.
Yeah. With pencils by Robert Teranishi and colors and digital enhancement by Chris Chuckry. There's the cover. Nice close up of
The cover's so good.
Dakota, how much did you spend on that at the library book sale?
I spent, I believe, $1 on this at the library book sale.
Let's see. If
It's
we
so
go to Star
criminal.
Wars, if we look at Star Wars Union trade paperback,
And
on-
I'm pretty sure it was never in circulation because it doesn't have any like sticker marks on it or anything. So someone donated this to the library and they were just like, yeah, let's put it in the book sale, whatever.
yeah,
Who
it's like
cares about this?
there are 3 that come up. We've got one listed at $51. We've got another one listed at $64, $59. Yeah, Dakota, you made it like a bandit,
Yeah, I did.
and I'm
Yeah,
so
I did.
I am.
It could have
so
been
jealous
you.
because it could have been me. I could have been me. I love Luke and Mara. Not saying you don't, obviously. I love that comic. I think the art is kind of divisive. I really like the art.
I like
in
it
that-
too.
Yeah. The colors especially. I feel like the colors really pop in it. But maybe it's because I'm just used to like Dark Empire, where
Yeah.
the photos are all skewed and wrong in a good way,
Yeah.
but wrong. Anyway, great item,
is
Dakota.
very good.
As much as it makes me mad. Eva, you got another one to send
I
us home?
do. First off, I'm going to do an honorable mention to my favorite action figure. I got this at Star Wars Celebration Chicago. I'm thrilled by him. First of all, because he's huge. Second of all, because nobody ever makes action figures that are this detailed of a little Anakin baby boy. So I'm thrilled to have a huge, incredibly, like, it's even got the undershirt and everything.
Oh my god.
So I'm absolutely thrilled by
Amazing.
him. He typically sits at the top of my shelf over here, bright and bold, right on display in front of the Super Nintendo box. Love him.
Glorious.
My actual last item is perhaps, I think, the weirdest thing in my house. It is this Qui-Gon Jinn lightsaber
Oh,
that
I had that one.
has an Anakin
Oh, not that,
Skywalker
though.
pod racing watch in it. And
amazing.
for ease of convenience, if you need to carry around your Anakin Skywalker pod racing head watch, it has this little belt clip so that you can have your lightsaber on you at
Nice.
all times, so you can reach in, you can grab Anakin Skywalker's little head, and you can tell what time it is.
I am living for Cole going, oh, I had that one. Not that one.
Not that one.
I love this thing
It's
so much.
amazing.
Again, this was something I found at McKay's. I was
Of
just
course.
walking through minding my business. I turned, I went, Star Wars, and then I looked closer and I went, what? Why? I would love to take the watch out, but the problem is that Anakin's head is so big that it's difficult to get it back in.
So it's just not
but-
worth the trouble.
Yeah, and right now, like, his head is so big I can't even get it out.
No.
But
Leave that in there.
yeah, it's in there. He's got his little pod racing helmet on. But
Do
the
not
watch is
release
still
him.
functional.
The watch still works.
The watch still works.
That's amazing.
That's
That's
beautiful.
I wore it in college one day because my girlfriend at the time dared me to wear it in public, so I did.
I'm shocked you don't wear that every day.
It's
so
too
good.
bulky, but
Yeah.
yeah, ease of access. You can clip it on your
Just
belt.
carry the whole thing around. Why not
Yeah.
change you?
Yeah, what?
You have a belt clip.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. So I love this thing. I have no idea. There's no information on it other than it was made in China in 1999. So I don't know where this
God
would have
only
been sold.
knows.
I don't know why this would have been sold. I don't know, but it exists and I have it, and I'm really thrilled by it every time I see it.
Beautiful.
Well, thank you everybody for sharing. This has been a ton of fun. I think this is something that maybe is not going to be a super regular feature, but I would love to do this more regularly.
Yeah.
Listeners,
What I
hope-
really enjoyed about it is how everyone's show and tell items were so on brand.
They were, weren't they?
I had a home release. Cole had customized official merchandise,
Mhm.
multiple pieces. Dakota just had like an amalgam of everything because Dakota's
I
love
had
for Star
something
Wars is
to
just so
bully
pure.
you. Yeah, I had something to bully you with. I had something genuinely cool, and I had a little meme.
Mhm, mhm. Meanwhile, I had 3 things from The Phantom Menace and 1 thing Revenge of the Sith, and almost all of them were incredibly bizarre one-off things that I have no information on. So,
I know, that's what I mean. It's all perfect.
yeah.
However,
I found the thing on eBay. I found it.
did you?
Yeah.
How much is it
How
going for?
much?
Well, I mean, there's one listed on here for $11 with $8 shipping or best offer,
Nice.
and it's new in the package.
Oh.
Send me that link, dude.
Is it just like nameless Star Wars brand item?
Well, I mean, I just searched for Star Wars lightsaber Anakin watch, and this came up.
Beautiful.
So I wonder if
The
there's like
internet
a
is
series
truly
because it
a
was called
wonderful thing.
the packaging says Star Wars Episode 1 Collector's Watch.
There's got to be a series.
There's gotta be a
It's
series.
Star
I'm
Wars.
gonna look
Yeah.
it up.
More watches.
I'm gonna get all of them.
What about this? Is
For a
this
while,
on eBay?
my ex was collecting these
Plastic
watches
cake
for a
burger.
while.
Oh, those, yeah.
The reversible ones.
Who is
Yeah.
that?
They did like a line of like reversible Star Wars watches
cool.
that came in this tin, and so mine's Anakin and Darth Vader from episode 3.
Obviously.
But these make sense to me because these are just regular watches that come in a little tube with like the character on it versus putting Anakin's entire face in 3D into Qui-Gon Jinn's lightsaber. I don't know. I don't get it.
Okay,
I
there's
love it so
definitely-
much, but I don't get it.
There's a Darth Maul one for sure. I found.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
I'm seeing if there's
This is
any other
dangerous
ones.
information because now I'm going to try and get all of them.
Yeah. Wait, is Maul's face on the watch also, or is it?
Yeah, it's
just
Maul's
his
lightsaber, and it's also Maul's face on the watch.
Okay.
Of course.
Qui-Gon doesn't get his face on something.
Oh,
Because
wait.
Anakin didn't have a lightsaber.
There's a
at this
Jar
point in time.
Jar one. That's
Oh,
also
my
Maul's
God.
There
face.
it is.
What?
Oh my god.
Well, yeah, because George Lucas said he was like Yoda times 10.
Couldn't they have made it Obi-Wan's lightsaber instead, just so there's more variety?
Do you think George Lucas knows that these random things he said have stuck with the fans? So, you know, like surely he knows about its poetry, it rhymes.
Yeah.
Do you think George
Yoda-
Lucas knows that this exists?
No,
No.
I
no.
like.
He has
I'm-
3.
I wish that I could like mail this to him. You know what I mean?
There's a C-3PO one as well.
Oh.
Surely there aren't more than 4.
I'm
Right?
scrolling. I'm still scrolling just to see if there's anything else.
By the next time we speak, I'll own them all.
Well,
Well,
None of them are
I
like
hope
super
so.
expensive, so you know.
Well, I'm not shocked. While Cole scrolls, I do want to say, Bro Skywalker's brief update. We were not able to pull an episode together this week, but we're hoping to get one in tomorrow. So we're hoping that by the time you hear this, there will be an episode of Aurora Skywalker's up on that feed and on Skyhopper's
Fingers
podcast.com.
crossed.
Fingers crossed. That's the hope. We did read Republic Commando. I gotta talk about it. Who wants to send us out? Cole is scrolling. Dakota,
Who
where
wants
does anyone have it?
to? Who
I mean,
wants
I don't-
to?
It's okay. It's 10:45. We've been doing this for an hour and a half. I'm trying to. How do I normally end it? Are we done? Is this it?
You ask us our social medias and then we sign off.
And then
Okay.
you tell us we
Okay.
don't have anything to add.
Cole, what's your social media? Is that it?
The one who's scrolling.
Yeah. I'm at Mando Wraith on all the social medias, and I'm on a Bro
Who are
Skywalkers.
you?
It's good times.
I don't know. I did drink one beer.
You did have a beer.
Where can
Getting
people
wild.
find you? That's what you say, Ben, every week.
Every week for like
Dakota,
the past
where
4 years.
Where can people find you?
Uh,
Tom
that
wants
is-
your address.
Yeah, give us your address.
I
Stocks.
I am on Instagram at Deviation of the Endless and Twitter at Endless Deviation with 1 S. And that's pretty much it right now. And on skyhopperspodcast.com. Is that what it's called? Yes.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I love knowing our URL.
What about you? Where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Eva Harinkova. You can also find me probably writing a 100-word review soon on Rebel Dawn because I have been blazing through this book. Han Solo is perhaps the only thing giving me joy right now. I don't know what's going on, but Han Solo's getting me through these days right now. So
I meant to check in with you about the book earlier too. I guess we'll have to do that next week or something.
yeah. Other than that, yeah, skyhoverspodcast.com. I do my 100 words or less reviews, and our paywall is down on thefalloutpress.com right now as we transition to a new
Ooh.
website. So if you want some hyper-local news, you have access to my articles for free for the next few weeks. Give me those clicks.
I thought you were going to say that the paywall's down at skyharperspodcast.com. I'm like, we had a paywall.
Yeah.
Like,
I was charging people $100 that would go directly into my. Speaking of money laundering,
man, you know what I
Callbacks.
hate is that the longer this podcast goes on as an entity, the more you have to be a patron to get the full picture, so you can hear After Hours and understand all the references we make to After
It
Hours in the
bleeds.
main show.
2 hours later.
It's criminal. It's horrible, actually.
well,
But
but also if you become a patron, I might owe you $1 soon. So we'll see.
right,
It might be worth it.
maybe. And
Ben,
they'll
where are
pay.
you on the internet?
Very few places these days publicly. I'm on Instagram, I guess, at Ferret Breeder. I don't ever use it. But
But
this
if you want to go
podcast,
look at
however,
his face,
this podcast, back to the days when I had much shorter hair as
Yeah.
well. This podcast is on Twitter, SW Skyhoppers, skyhopperspodcast.com. If you want to find the links to everything, you can email us, skyhopperspodcast@gmail.com. Please CC George Lucas at gmail.com.
Mhm,
Tell
mhm.
him that Eva has a watch for him.
Yeah.
And if you feel like
Please.
supporting, if you feel like supporting this for some reason, patreon.com/skyhopperspodcast. $1
You
a
can
month.
fund me buying more watches until I have to pay you back because we don't get a Fallen Order trailer.
Exactly. It's this feels like a wire transfer scam.
Again, money laundering.
Look, the patrons are going to give us $5 for their $1 subscription, and we're going to wire the rest back.
Yeah.
we promise. We promise.
It's foolproof.
Okay.
One time
This
only.
podcast sucks.
Before we devolve into criminal activity, I'm going to say that no one has anything else to add, and this is the Skyhoppers podcast signing off.
Somebody get this money laundering scheme out of here.
You're funny, little boy.
Juby. Juby.